The following is an updated outlook from the National Weather Service Western Region Operations Center for the upcoming 2013-2014 winter and was prepared especially for Cal OES on November 27, 2013. The overall message for the winter outlook is much the same in that the uncertainty is high as to whether or not above or below normal conditions will occur. While uncertainty is always high for long-term forecasts, the uncertainty is even higher this year due to the combination of a lack of El Niño or La Niña conditions and additional variability in the other forecast model guidance and indices that are used for long-term forecasts. As a result, there are no clear, reliable, long-term signals that exist for temperature or precipitation forecasts for this coming winter. This does not mean that the prediction is for normal conditions, but it does mean that there are no strong indicators leading us to forecast either above normal, below normal, or normal conditions for much of California this winter. However, we can look historically at years where there was no El Niño or La Niña present and get an idea for what was observed during those years. For temperatures in years without El Niño or La Niña, there has been little to no bias in California with regard to temperature. Basically, the data shows that average temperature conditions during those years were within 1/2 to 1 degree of long-term normal conditions. With precipitation, on the other hand, the data shows that years where there was no El Niño or La Niña have resulted in slightly below average precipitation by 1 to 2 inches throughout most of California. This is especially true in northern and central California. Now that we know what a typical year without El Niño or La Niña looks like, let's look at the official forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. First, let's take a look at just December. The forecast for temperature is for equal chances of below normal, normal, or above normal conditions throughout nearly the entire state. Only right along the Colorado River is there a slight favoring for above normal temperatures. The forecast for precipitation is for equal chances of below normal, normal, or above normal conditions statewide. Even with the data from the previous slide, recall that the other forecast model data and indices are included in the forecast, so that is why the forecast is not calling for drier than normal conditions across much of California this winter. Similarly, during the heart of the winter, December through February appear to mostly have equal chances for below normal, normal, or above normal conditions. The one exception is the area where above normal temperatures are slightly favored along the Colorado River. Next, let us take a brief look at the latest water supply issues. For Californians, 2013 thus far has had some of the driest conditions in 118 years, despite the recent rains. This is especially true across portions of northern and central California, where you see the record driest conditions in the areas of red for the January through October 2013 timeframe. This translates directly into the water supply statewide, with nearly all reservoirs still well below capacity, and most are below the historical averages for where they should be for this time of year. So, in summary, with this California winter without El Niño or La Niña, 1. A weak correlation exists for below average precipitation. 2. This correlation strengthens the further north and coastal you go in the state. And 3. No real correlation exists regarding seasonal temperatures, and thus equal chances are forecast nearly statewide. One significant caveat is that we need to remember that California and the Sierra are still prone to individual storms, like occurred last December, that can produce significant amounts of the seasonal precipitation. One storm can make a disproportional contribution to the water supply and can still play a role in developing impacts related to flooding. Also, remember that 2013 has been in some places in California the driest in 118 years, and this has translated to the latest regional and statewide water supply. Reservoirs have significant space available to accommodate any large early season storm runoff, which means that the first few storms may only create flooding concerns on uncontrolled rivers in urban areas and near recent burn scars. Thanks for your attention. Here is our contact information at the National Weather Service Western Region headquarters. And remember, your local National Weather Service office is also available for more localized information.